Welcome. In front of me is the Honor X7, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do or change on this phone. So to get started, let's open up settings because that's where we will find most of them, and let's begin with the display and brightness where you'll find dark mode. Now here we have just a normal switch, and because this is technically Huawei, expect stupidity, so we don't have a schedule mode in here, which is basically a staple of any kind of Android nowadays, where you can just tap on the text and also select it to turn on or off automatically. Here you just have to have it manually. If you want to change it between light and dark mode, you do have, I believe, an option in your notifications to toggle between these two, like dark and light mode, a little bit quicker. Looks to might be there we go. So you could just add it by dragging it over to the top, selecting done, and now you have a bit more quicker toggle. It's still not automatic, but this is as best as you can get on a just ridiculous Huawei software. Now moving on to the next one is going to be the refresh rate, which is still under the display and section. We do have it set to dynamic, but this is a balanced smoothness and battery life with a max refresh rate of 90 Hertz. Then we have high, which just, so the first one, if I'm correct, will drop the refresh rate down to 60 when it's not needed, meaning like right now as an example, while the high will always run at 90 and standard will always run at 60. So to kind of give you a idea of what you might be looking here for, standard will give you best battery life, while dynamic will give you best of both worlds, which is a little bit better battery life, but still not as good as the standard one, along with the high refresh rate. Sorry for that. Anyway, moving on, we can now go into eye comfort, which does have a schedule mode, and if you're wondering what that might be, it's what I would consider a good option maybe when you're going to sleep. It turns the display into just piss yellow. So there we go. Now on the camera it doesn't look as egregious as it has in person. It is, hell yeah, it's yellow. So yeah. You do have the option, like I said, to set it up on a schedule. Now, supposedly this is good for having an easier time falling asleep if you tend to use your phone in bed, which I tend to do that, but to be honest, I haven't really felt any difference, so yeah. So keep that with a grain of salt. If you want it, it's right here. Now moving on to the next option, which is the display carrier name. You have the option to actually hide it. Now right now I don't have any card, so it gives me this emergency call whatever pop-up, but normally if I would pop in any kind of SIM card, it would give me its carrier name for some reason, and I prefer to have more space for just notification icons in there, and just generally a bit cleaner look than just seeing, for instance, like T-Mobile or something like that in there. So if you want to get rid of it, you can go under to the more display settings, and then you have the display carrier name and get rid of it. And voila, the status bar becomes automatically a little bit cleaner. Now moving on to the next option, it's going to be associated with customization of your home screen. So we're going to back out to the settings, and then we're going to go into home screen and wallpaper. And in here, I'm going to begin with the home screen style. I don't think we have an option to change it throughout the setup process, so if you want to get something like an app tray, like a typical Android user would want probably, then you can find it exactly in the home screen and wallpaper under home screen style. By default it's called standard. No, it's not. It's Android, that's not standard. App drawer is standard for Android, but obviously it's Huawei technologies, so expect some just stupidity here. Anyway, once you enable this, it does reboot your home screen, and from there you can just swipe up and have all your apps in an app tray. Now it also will remove all the apps that you had on your home screen. So if you already had kind of like a setup of specific apps on your home screen with a specific orientation, you will unfortunately need to reorganize them again. But the upside here is that you can now remove all the unwanted apps from your home screen. So if you don't use TikTok, if you don't use Booking, you can just get rid of it. Or you don't need to dedicate a specific page somewhere at the back just for unwanted apps, which is, in my opinion, a really nice thing. Now, moving on further into the customization, if we go back into our home screen, you will also find their home screen settings, layout. Now here it is set to be 4:6. You can change it to be 5:5 or 5:6. So I'm gonna select the bigger grid right here, which obviously shrinks down apps a little bit. So there will be a little bit smaller, as you can probably see, and you can also fit more of them on your screen. But personally, I prefer to change it that way, just because smaller apps, in my opinion, look a little bit cleaner, and when you have less of them, it just, I don't know, creates more space. My preference here. Anyway, and going back with the clean looking, the last thing I will show you is gesture navigation, which will get rid of the buttons from the bottom. So you can find it under the settings, scroll all the way down to system and update, system navigation, gestures. I guess we have to start it, whatever. And there we go. And as you can see, we have now completely clean look. There's nothing at the bottom right here. And the way you navigate right now, if you never use gesture navigation, is by just swiping. So you swipe up and hold to go to recent, swipe up quickly to go home, and swipe from either side to go back. Now this is still using a Huawei software, and if you swipe and hold, it gives you the panel right here, which you can also customize if you like to. Now the panel itself is also pretty neat. So you can hold it up, drag it, drop it, cool. Now I believe we can also split screen it, so let's grab another one, and there we go. And as you can see, we have access to a bunch of apps, which you can also customize what apps are visible right here by selecting the plus and finding any kind of app in here that you want to add. So let's just say I want to add photos, messages. There we go. Select done. And as you can see, now we have more apps. Now I have more apps than the panel can hold, so as you can see, you can just swipe up and down on it. And I'm pretty sure there should be also a way there we go, just press on it to launch it in the pop-up view. So as you can see right now, it's open in this tiny little window, which you should be able to resize. There we go. And obviously it's fully interactable. If you go home, it opens it up as an app head. So you can do something else, you can come back to it, do whatever you want in here. And unfortunately, if you want to minimize this, it looks like we just need to see, because we have to press on this button to get rid of it. But yeah, obviously you can see it works pretty well. And if you want to close it, you can just do it like so. Now, with that being said, this would this would conclude all the tweaks and tricks that I want to show you. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.